Yo, what is going on, guys? We're just having a fantastic day today, so I'm going to go over some updates for the Philadelphia Eagles. A few things I definitely want to go over when it comes to, the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation. We have some rumors on Jalen Mills and some contract stuff as well. So let's get straight into all the news.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey SHAKESQUAD coming, guys, with a video right now. So first thing I definitely want to go over is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Now, I think every time a safety gets signed in the NFL, I'm always going to compare the contracts with certain guys. And, Chauncey's been kind of sitting there and, trying to see what deal he's going to get. Nothing on Twitter as of right now. Chauncey has not did anything with his Twitter and deleted anything. All these mysterious tweets and this and that and stuff on IG. Nothing has happened today. So maybe his agent was like, you need to chill with that. Let me do my job. We'll see if we can get you what offer we can get you. The safety market is so bad right now to where Chauncey's not going to get what he wants. Playing 1 year as a safety, he missed 4 to 5 games, and most teams are seeing him as a nickel cornerback right now. I mean, you had Jordan Poyer, you had Julian Love. I mean, guys that just got signed today to not even $4 to $6 million contracts. Like $4 to $6 million per year type of contracts. There is nothing out there to what number that Chauncey wants. And I think, he's got to open his eyes a little bit to some of what's going on here. So when I see these safeties getting signed, really Jesse Bates is the only guy that was signed the big money because consistently he has played very well at that position. Chauncey's only played at it 1 year. Okay, these other guys, and these aren't the only 2 safeties that have been signed. The guy from the Jags was signed to a short-term $6 to $8 million deal. I mean, Wilson, the safety, the extension that the Cowboys gave Wilson was another one that got $6 to $8 million a year. This is like $4 to $8 million that these safeties are really getting signed, other than Jesse Bates. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I understand that he's putting more worth into himself, but teams are just not looking at him like that. And I think that's really affecting his stock going forward. Now, I don't think this is going to drag out till the end of next week, a week from today. If I'm sitting here by next Friday and I'm saying that this is still going on, there's a major issue, a major problem. That this should be done by the end of this weekend, or at least by beginning to not even the middle of next week. I mean, you can't go by another week. Every time we wake up every single morning and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, as an Eagles fan, and looking at this and saying he's not signed yet, his price is just going to drop and drop and drop, and that's just better for the Eagles at the end of the day. We saw that the Broncos had interest. It looks like they're going to be out because of cap situation. The Bengals came out with some tweets on a good sign that they had, and that was one of the offensive linemen that they signed. So they're probably cap-strapped as it is right now. Probably could afford what Chauncey can get, but I think there's a lot of teams just out on him right now. Maybe, I don't know, until he becomes so dirt cheap that somebody's going to get him to a 1 year deal. This can go to a 1 year deal as of right now. Maybe Chauncey comes back to Philadelphia and it's aiming in that direction right now, that Chauncey lands in Philadelphia, kind of just bets on himself for 1 more year, and the Eagles will give him that big contract. If he plays a monster year as a safety 1 more time, it is what it is. But if the Eagles get injuries at safety, or if something happens here, he's got to, I should say at nickel with Avonte Maddox, he can't stay healthy. They're going to have to move Chauncey to nickel if they have to. That's always the plan B option. But like I said, Chauncey's got a lot of value because it's not just playing nickel, it's playing safety as well. To have a guy that can move around the field is always a plus in your secondary. He's the last piece of the puzzle to what we could do. And looking at Bradbury getting re-signed, Slade taking less money, lessening that cap hit, and getting $13 million in cap space is a really good move. This secondary, he's the last piece of the puzzle, and I think he knows that. And a lot of teams have been lowballing him on offers, and he's still standing his ground as of right now. I mean, how much time are you going to keep holding this off? That's all I really got to say. I feel like the Eagles are still going to sign him. I'd be shocked if they lose him. And if his market's going down, how can they lose him? Okay, I figured first day of free agency he was gone. After pretty much saying, really, thank you, Philly, not really goodbye, I thought it was pretty much over. And then as the days went on, Howie has made some crazy moves. At this point, if Howie gets Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on this roster and they sign Bobby Wagner or they do something crazy, I'm telling you, like, Howie Roseman deserves a statue for what he did. These players, these players came back a little cheaper. A lot of these guys did because of getting the gang back together again. And you really don't get that with NFL teams. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is the last piece to the puzzle. And looking at Julian Love, looking at, just looking at some of these contracts from these other safeties, 2 more signed today at $4 to $6 million a year. 4 to 6, 4 to 7, I'd say in that area. From all the other safeties besides Jesse Bates that got $16 million. He's not going to get that number. So does he take a short-term deal with the Eagles for 1 year to kind of prove himself to the organizations around and the Eagles, or do the Eagles just say, let's take advantage of this, let's kind of not give him what he wants entirely, but give him something that will meet in the middle, that we have more consensus ground, we get the same type of ground meeting on, price or whatever it is with the contract that he wants. I don't know how much he wants, but if it's 16 or over, he's not getting it. If it's 10 million or over, he's not getting it. If it's $9 million and over, he's not getting it. If they paid him 8, maybe paid him $9 million a year, okay, you know what I mean? I get it. You want to meet in the middle between what these safeties are getting paid and what Jesse Bates is getting paid at the highest, one of the highest paid, and he's 4th highest paid. That's only at $16 million. So they got to figure this out. Chauncey has got to figure it out within himself. I don't blame Chauncey. Look, whatever he wants to do is what he wants to do. But at the same time, the Eagles are definitely keeping close touch with this situation and not going to let this thing roll by them. Chauncey is the remaining puzzle left for this secondary that we really need. And I know a lot of Eagles fans are like, what's so great about him? He wasn't one of the best safeties last year. But when you have value at playing 2 positions and playing both pretty well, it's really good. You know what I mean? So that's the news on Chauncey right now. I'm just letting you guys the safety market. The more safeties that sign to lower deals, he's not going to get anywhere near that number that he wants. He's got to make a decision really, really soon. So that's all I really got to say about that. Secondly, we had, Jalen Mills. It looks like Jalen Mills has been released by the Patriots. And yes, the Patriots save about $5 million with this move. Now, Jalen Mills did play corner and played safety, did a lot of 3 safety sets the Patriots did this past year. Could be a return to Philadelphia. Obviously, is going to still got the green hair, still the green goblin, always will be that. But this is where he was drafted, and obviously the Eagles are building something really nice here, and Jalen Mills might want to be a part of it. Even Jennifer Slay is really trying to get him back, and obviously really good friends with Slay. And, they did, there was a lot of good things to come out of it. Now, she said, let's get the gang back together in Philadelphia, good friends, and then Mills said, I'm a hybrid, right? And then he says, I play safety, right? So I'm not bringing Mills back as a cornerback. If Chauncey signs, I would still sign Jalen Mills, but some people are saying Reed should be over Mills, and some people are saying that Reed should be the number 3 and Mills should come in as that second safety for us. Maybe he will play better at safety, because as a cornerback, I really don't trust it anymore. They ended up getting Greedy Williams. I'm good with that for depth right now. See what happens at OTAs, training camp, everything like that. Mills is a great locker room guy. Mills is, for a 6th, 7th round pick when we drafted him, he played pretty good. Not saying he was the best corner in the world, but, guy never put his head down. Guy always fought back in games. And, like I said, got beat on the double moves. We've had issues with Mills. I get it. And the defensive line had covered up, especially during the Super Bowl year, or, in 17, covered up a lot of the bandages. But having Malcolm Jenkins move around was pretty cool too. So if you sign Jalen Mills, maybe Jalen Mills and Reed Blankenship, could be your safeties, and maybe you can use Chauncey and move him all over the place, or keep Chauncey at safety, move, Blankenship over. Maybe Mills becomes your 3rd safety, and, he'll get some playing time this year, but how much is it going to cost? I don't know. I'd say like $4 to $5 million for the year. Maybe that's what they do to just get some good depth there. And obviously, Jalen Mills knows the front office and knows a lot of these players still on this team right now. A good amount. Few guys are still on this team that he knows back from the Super Bowl days. So, this would be an okay signing. I'm not against signing Jalen Mills for a 1-year deal, but not as a cornerback. For a safety, I would. As a starting safety, I don't know. But he actually graded from, I don't really take much from PFF, but I looked at it just to look at it, and it looked like he graded a little bit better than Gardner-Johnson. And obviously, I don't know how many, if Mills missed some time last year. I don't think he did. But obviously, Chauncey missed some time, 4 to 5 games with the lacerated kidney. So this wouldn't be a horrible move. I really wouldn't be against it. As a cornerback, definitely not. As a safety, you might have something there with him. You might have a little bit more value. So God forbid if a couple corners get hurt, or maybe, I don't know, something has happened. Mills can move to his corner if you want him to, even though we really don't want him to play that position. It's nice to have value, and I think Mills will have a little bit of value, and I don't think he'll be that expensive. I think give him that 1-year deal, kind of like prove himself, not just for him, prove him, just for himself and for other teams to look at him maybe for more money on a bigger contract. I'm not trying to say Jalen Mills, I want him here long term, definitely not. But if he plays really good, who knows what they could do with him. If he ends up balling out at safety and playing really well, you never know. So a lot of fans are saying Mills comes in as a safety as, lined up next to Chauncey, or Mills becomes the number 3 behind Chauncey and Reed Blankenship. So I want to know from you guys what you guys think about Mills coming back. And, like I said, not as a cornerback, as a safety, and, a cheap deal, see what he can do. And I think it'd be really good depth, guys. I mean, I think it'd be pretty good to have him here. It solidifies the safety group a little bit, but like I said, only if Chauncey's here, it's going to make it a lot better. So interesting enough, we'll see what happens. I think it'll come down to OTA's training camp, see what he could do, and he's more of a veteran now. You know what I mean? That knows his organization, won a Super Bowl here, and why not bring him in? Like I said, not cornerback. So that's the news on Jalen Mills as of right now. I want to know from you guys what you guys think about that too. And lastly, the free agent list. This free agent list is still loaded with really good players. Really good. You still got Bobby Wagner. Look, DJ Chark is still out there. It could be your wide receiver 3 depending on what's going on. You had Dalton Schultz that's dealt with injury in the past. Gardner-Johnson. Frank Clark is a real interesting one at defensive end. Obviously, Julian Love was signed. Marcus Peters still there. Yannick Ngakoue, Leonard Floyd, edge rushers. Still got a lot of good. I mean, for what the Eagles need right now when it comes to defensive line and more depth, you want to add another depth piece with Yannick Ngakoue or Leonard Floyd on the edge would be great. I know there's a few names definitely missing from here. I know you had Quentin Jefferson from the Seahawks. They released him at defensive tackle. He had 5.5 sacks. You have Calais Campbell that was released. There's a lot of defensive linemen still could come for real cheap for the Eagles on a nice rotation. I think they get their number 1 star defensive tackle with the 10th overall pick this year. They're able to add one defensive end, a defensive tackle. I think they'd be pretty good. Even bringing Linval Joseph back on a 1-year deal, getting another run stuffer in the building, I honestly wouldn't mind that too. But getting in the trenches, 10th overall pick, whether it's Jalen Carter, whether it's obviously Kalijah Kancey from Pittsburgh, I mean, you got some wiggle room here. Obviously, outside linebacker. We need some complimentary piece to Nakobe Dean because I don't have any trust in Davion Taylor, and Sean Bradley is just purely special teams. So Bobby Wagner still on the list. I know Cowboys, I know the Seahawks been wanting to get him back as well since he was there mostly his whole career, went to the Rams, and obviously nothing played well. But Bobby Wagner was top 10 in tackles for loss last season, which was pretty good. And still a great player. Not the best coverage guy you're going to see, but the guy can get through and be disruptive and still make really good tackles for his age. He is old, so maybe he really won't cost that much. But we'll see. So that is the free agent list, and there was a few names I just mentioned that are off of that list as well. So defensive linemen, there's a lot there. I think they could take advantage of the situation. I'm not saying sign a whole bunch of free agents, but I'd sign one defensive end. I'd sign one defensive tackle, whether it's going to be Linval or one of these guys. I would do that, no doubt, and then add in the draft. You got 2 first-round picks, a second, a third. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that you could do in combinations of, what the Eagles might do here. So, going to be really interesting what the Eagles do. Let me know about, obviously, the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation. Do you think he just needs to get that 1-year deal, prove himself for one more year, or, maybe Howie just needs to break the bank a little bit, maybe pay half of, or maybe kind of meet in the middle of what he wants, maybe at $8-9 million, maybe a little bit more than what these other guys are getting, maybe like $9 million, $9.5 million, something like that to a longer extension. We'll see. And obviously the Jalen Mills situation coming back to Philadelphia, could it happen at safety, or would you rather have him at corner as a backup? Who knows? You guys let me know what you guys think about all this news. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you last this long, please subscribe to the channel. We cover the Eagles every single day. Like this video because it does help out the channel out a lot. And hopefully everybody's been enjoying the videos, the streams, and all that great stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.